to Question Quote Media. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Now, I'm just reporting on the case of Zahid Younis, a 36-year-old known as Boxer. He murdered the Hungarian, do apologise for the pronunciation of the names, Henriett Szuc, a mother of three, and Mihrican Mustafa, whose bodies were found in a freezer at his home in Canning Town, East London. Now, before we get into this case, I just want to pay my respects to Henriett and Mustafa as well. You know, their families as well, what they're going through and what they've been going through for the last 2 years and 4 years. Horrible. Now, a violent sex offender has been jailed for life for murdering 2 vulnerable women and storing their bodies in a freezer. Zahid Younis, 36, killed the Hungarian mother, Henriett, and Mustafa. Today he was found guilty of 2 counts of murder and jailed for life with a minimum tariff of 38 years. Now, Henriett, she was 34, had last been seen in August 2016, so over 4 years ago, and 38-year-old Miss Mustafa in May 2018, over 2 years ago. Now, their bodies were found in Younis's flat in Canning Town, East London, in April 2019. Police had been sent there to investigate after Younis was reported missing. Now, the woman's bodies were found after officers forced open the padlock freezer, which was in a cupboard surrounded by flies and with items stacked upon it. Now, that's not a way to... It's really sad. That's not a way to go. And the only reason why police found him was because it was a tip-off, saying, Younis was missing, need to see what's happened with him. Now, both of the women he'd murdered had led somewhat chaotic lives. It was said that they were both homeless at times and they struggled with drugs, and they were also easy to manipulate. Now, the jury at London Southwark Crown Court heard that the woman had been subject to very significant violence before their deaths and had fractured injuries associated with kicking or stamping. Regardless of whether they lived chaotic lives, they had drugs, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to treat, women or anyone. Now, prosecutor Duncan Penny QC said Younis had brought the freezer a short time after the death of Henriett for the sole purpose of concealing her body. The woman had numerous rib fractures, while Henriett also suffered dreadful head injuries, and Mustafa had been fractured. It's just even hard to read. All the stuff that's happened to these ladies, it's just sad, and then the family going through all of this, 4 years, 2 years, The court had heard that between their deaths and discovery of their bodies, there were periods where the electricity supply of the flat had been cut off, causing the bodies to start to decompose. Now, I'm sure that would have started to smell up the place. Neighbours must have been thinking, what is that smell? Yeah, Younis admitted putting the women in his freezer, but denied double murder. He had previously pleaded guilty to preventing the lawful and dissentful burial of both women. Younis accepted that Henriett died at his flat, but insisted he had been out at the time and later found her dead. Now, that questions, if you found someone dead, why wouldn't you contact the police or contact the ambulance service? Now, he said he did not tell the police there was a dead woman at his home because he was panicking. Younis also said he did not kill Miss Mustafa and does not know how she came to die. However, the defence had argued that there was no convincing evidence that Younis killed or was present when either woman died, and the case against him is circumstantial. Now, there was no forensic evidence against him or that he had the motivation to cause anyone serious injury, the defence said. Younis said that he had paid a man he knew to help him get Henriett's body into the freezer, only for this man to later blackmail him into also putting Mustafa's body in the same place. Mustafa was already dead when he was confronted by this man to hide her body, according to Younis. This happened when 2 men took Mustafa's body along with her property, including her bag and telephone, to his home in a wheelie bin and ordered that she should be put into a freezer. The defence said Younis felt that he had no choice to agree to have the second body put in the freezer. Now, going back to the wheelie bin, this reminds me of the teacher, Lindsay Burbick, that was also murdered and put into a wheelie bin. People just, it's just so sad. It says one of the men had threatened to tell about the dead woman who was already there if he had refused. The court heard that Younis had several previous convictions from assaulting partners. Now, if that was the case, why weren't police not keeping tabs on him? The prosecution said that in 2007, following his release from prison, Younis got into a relationship with a 17-year-old girl whose father had recently died. The jury heard the violence began with slaps before escalating into punches and kicks, leaving the teenager with large bruises. The girl's family eventually tricked Younis into allowing her to leave the home they shared, following an assault that fractured her arm in 3 places. He was sentenced to 4 years and 11 months for 2 counts of wounding and 1 assault, occasionally ABH, actual body harm. Now, Investigating Officer Detective Chief Inspector Simon Harding of the Metropolitan Police told the news agency, Zahid Younis is a very dangerous individual who preys on vulnerable women in particular and abuses them. He brings them into his control and causes them significant injury. Now, members of Miss Mustafa's large family have been in trial in London Southwark Crown Court every day, and Younis showed no remorse as he denied murdering them. It's just really sad, for both families, Henriett, Mustafa. They will never get them back, and the way they've been taken, they're actually mothers. I just hope, that this doesn't happen ever again. I just want to pay my respects to the Mustafa family and Henriett's family, and also if you could do the same in the comments.